Let's go out to our friend and licensed clinical psychologist and attorney, Dr. Lisa Strohman, the brains behind Digital Citizen Academy, dcakids.org, digitalcitizenacademy.org. Also follow her at Dr. Lisa Strohman, Strohman. Lisa, welcome.
Welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
I believe we got you a little early. I hope it didn't interrupt anything, but I said if Lisa's on, I will take her.
We're here, yeah.
So let's talk about tech and parenting. Leeann is about to enter into the age of the screens with her kids.
Oh, no, they're already there.
But I mean, really.
No, you're right.
And she's nervous. So what should she do? How should she prepare for this?
Well, I mean, I think that the number one thing I tell parents is just remember that you're in charge. And if it helps, maybe think that, to me, I always think, like, I don't negotiate with terrorists. Like, and I think of my kids, like, they come at you with a lot of tactics to try to get you to agree. So you just have to have those rules and those guidelines for yourself first. And then it's a lot easier to, to keep that hard line for your kids.
Like, what do you think about, if they're watching TV? My husband is so hardcore. He's always like, no, turn on, you don't get TV, go outside, play. He always wants them playing, which is fine. Sometimes, a lot of times babysitter's there because we both work and, she's a lot more lax on that stuff. But what do you think about, and they do have, like ABC Mouse, and they do have things where they play little interactive games with like the Disney Junior or whatever with the, they see the Peppa Pig or whatever, and then they play like the drawing apps where you're painting with Peppa Pig or what have you. Are those a little less, lethal than, say, the other kind of crazier older games that they get into, or is that still bad because it's screen time?
That's a great question. It's absolutely, all of it's screen time, but it's absolutely normal for kids to want to interface with technology. And what I say to parents, and I think your husband's probably helping keep the balance a little bit, where it's like, just have balanced time. You want to make sure, like, at these little ages, developing brains, they need outside time. They need to know how to throw a ball, like all that brain growth, all that's really important. But Peppa the Pig and ABC Mouse, all of those things that are like creative and educational, they're good until they're doing it for the sticker or they're doing it for the reward. So
we don't do that, and I don't like the reward system where, like, oh, you get 10 more stars or in the basket. Like, I hate all of those things.
Right, and so those are just absolutely in a place where, like in ABC Mouse, for instance, my kids did that too. The minute I saw them shift over and they were not doing the educational part for the fun of it, they were doing it because they wanted the coin to buy the sticker, I turned it off. Right, I could see it happen.
Right, because you see it turn in their brain. Right.
Does that mean you're in favor of the, say, Instagram getting rid of likes?
Well, so that's very interesting. So this is to me, like, Instagram claimed that they got away from likes, but that's not really what they did. What they did was, it's going to say your post was liked by Dr. Drew and others. So whoever was first will be on there. But then the second metric is going to say your post was liked by Dr. Drew and hundreds of others, then it goes to thousands of others, and then it goes to millions of others. So it's not only, so what they stopped was, for those of us who were posting, we only got 50 likes and we were embarrassed and we deleted our content. Instagram was losing content because their users were deleting it, and they didn't want that anymore. And so they went to this whole, like, reverse psychology.
Yeah, but they think this is going to work?
So, and in fact, like, yeah, exactly. They're saying it's making it harder to get the that kind of push, but it's making people work harder. So it's actually working in Instagram's favor. And to me, it's like, the reverse psychology doesn't work on me. So, like,
yeah, no, exactly. See, I didn't think that was going to work either. I'm like, I mean, people go on Instagram and they post provocative things because they're trying to get those likes. That's the whole point. So if you take that away and you take them going and looking back at their picture going, how many did I get? It's like, what's the point? I mean, that's why people are on. That's why the kids are on Instagram. It's like, come on.
Because they need, it's that affirmation.
Yes.
And I think with the little kids, that's what they're getting too. And I think it goes to kind of the social constructs that we need as kids. And Drew and I talked about this week earlier, but I think, like, little kids, you're not going to be able to stop them in the sense of, like, school or educational places typically will have some educational time for them, some use on, depending on the school that you're going to. And they need to understand how to interface with it, but they don't have the brain development to be able to be the person who says, it's time to turn it off. We have to be their frontal lobe. We have to be the parent that comes in and say, this enough is enough. And there's tons of things out there that you can use to help you restrict it, and so that you're not constantly the person who's doing it. You can do it through apps. You can do it through.
We have the timer on it.
Well, let's take a little break and let's get back and talk about some of your favorites. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll do it. That's Dr. Lisa Strohman. Digital Citizen Academy is where you can find out more. DCAkids.org. Our number is 800-222-5222. If you have questions, that's Leeann Tweeden. I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Midday Live, AM 790 KBC. Our number 800-222-5222. We're speaking to Dr. Lisa Strohman, attorney, psychologist, brains behind Digital Citizen Academy. Tell us about your special.
Oh, so we are trying to get, for the holidays, we're just trying to get families a free trial of our program, which comes with actually a monitoring software. I use Family Time because I think it's one of the best, but there's a ton of different ones we can go through. But literally have had 2 families come to me in this crisis situation, and we just decided let's see if we can get some out for the holidays and get some people protected, because this is the time of year that people are starting to go online a lot more, or kids are, I should say.
Right. And so let's go through some of the options available. What do you like to use?
So Family Time iOS, that's the one that we partnered with just because it does a bunch of different things. It allows you to look at GPS tracking. It allows you to look at the back end if there's any sort of keywords that come up. For instance, if somebody's talking about beer, I had a kid who came up and the parent said, well, he was actually doing a root beer float, and it kind of noticed the mom. So it kind of captures all of it. You can see where your kids are. You can look at their keywords, and it gives you a little bit, this dashboard gives you a little bit of warning. And so to me, it's the broadest one that helps you as a parent kind of through the years.
And it's called Family Time?
You'll know they're being monitored.
It's
called Family Time. Yeah, Family Time.
So if they're looking at it on their iPad or what have you, it notifies you on your phone or your email, or how does that work? Okay.
Yeah,
real time?
As a parent. Yes, it basically will send it to you in real time that this is something you should be aware of. And then when your kids get a little bit older, I think some of the monitoring tools that come out, like Spyzy is one, SPYZIE is another good one, that one is basically in ghost mode. Once you load it onto your phone as a parent and you load onto your child's phone, it deletes the icon on the child's phone, so they're not aware that it's being monitored. This goes to those teen kids that get a little bit trickier on the end. And that one is the reason why I hesitate a little bit is that there's some upgrades on that. The trial version comes with kind of limited features. And so, again, all of these apps that I think as a consumer you have to remember is they're going to give you a base level, and then if you want more, you have to pay for it. And when parents come at me and say, well, they want $6.99 a month or $7.99 a month, I was like, well, how much does your coffee cost every morning when you're going through drive-thru?
Or how much is your kid's life worth? I mean, that's what I say.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then MSpy is another really good one, kind of a solid. Again, I would recommend to the consumers to look at what are the features of each one of these apps that they're offering.
What is it you're looking to get out of it, right?
Right, you can manage what your kids are doing. There's key logging, and to me, it's it's not a job that you want to turn a parent into law enforcement. Everybody's busy. You're not too busy for your kids, but it can get onerous if you're not really, again, going to the part where you're educating the kids on the why not to do it. I think it's great that we have the ability to kind of spot check and make sure the text messages are good, that we're not being inappropriate on occasions. But I can't imagine that being a full-time job where every night you have to come in and say, okay, what did they say? What did they do? That's just not reasonable.
And that's the issues. That's just issues of safety. I mean, I talked to Lisa a couple of days ago about the issue of how the child's identity and sense of self is being formed online. It's weird.
So wait, can I ask you a question? So when you're talking about text messaging with their friends, so by the end of the night, if you just go, they come home and you go, let me see your phone, and you scroll through, what if the kid deletes all their text messages because they don't want you to see something? So these apps will have already either captured or they, screen capture whatever, potential words that might be a little iffy or something for you that you can see, or they will automatically send them to your phone? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So that's, good question. So again, they all kind of work a little bit differently, but like what they typically do is they go through and a monitoring parent app typically looks for like quote unquote keywords. So if we know that cutting is a keyword, if we know that sex is a keyword, if we know that, any of these words that as a parent we're like, okay, that's something that I want to pay attention to.
Right.
Those apps tend to pull that and they send out an alert immediately when that happens. And you can think of it as like a net, right? And so they capture it. Many of them do work, to your point, as a keylogger where they record every single thing that is typed into those messaging apps.
Yep.
They work on the back end and they plug into Snapchat. They plug into Instagram. And this is where, again, I don't know if I'm doing more good than not, but I go out and talk to the kids. I'm like, none of this stuff you're doing is private. And 1,000% of them think it is. And
Isn't that crazy?
If they think that if they're being secretive, it typically is only because they don't want their parents to know or their teachers to know. And so I say to them, I was like, here's the agreements that you guys do. And so they don't know that these companies work on the back end alongside of them, and they pull this data, again, for the greater good of kids' safety and things like that. But none of the stuff that they're doing is totally anonymous and safe. And I think it's really important, and that's the whole brand behind Digital Citizen Academy was like for me to like, how do we get the kids educated, right? How do I make Leeann's job easier as a parent? Because your kids are growing up knowing that they're being quote unquote kind of monitored, not just by mom and dad in schools, but they're also being monitored kind of by the world, by any platform that they're using. I think that's important to teach them.
Absolutely.
DCAkids.org. Again, tell them one more time about the special.
Yeah, we're doing a 7-day free trial. It's enough time that any parent, grandparent, aunt, anybody who wants to do it can sign up, use that account to go through the videos. There's free parent resource guides on there for age appropriate. So you sign up if you have a first grader or you have a fifth grader, sign up for the grade that you want, and you can go through the content and educate yourself and educate your kids on these they're 10-minute long, like little videos for the kids. And then the guide for parents is, something that just goes through, here's the things at that age that you need to be considering and having conversations about. I think parents would be really, to me, helped by going through it with their kids. It definitely creates a smarter child.
Thank you so much, Lisa,
Thank you
as
so
always.
Much, Lisa.
Take care.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dr. Lisa Strohman, attorney, licensed clinical psychologist, the brains behind Digital Citizen Academy. DCAkids.org is where you can find out more. That's Leeann Tweeden. I'm Dr. Drew, and this is Midday Live, AM 790 KBC.